Alright, so today, this is Thanksgiving morning, and I'm working on my truck again, the '07 Dodge 2500. I started having a coolant leak a month ago, and when it started getting colder, and then it warmed up a bit, and it stopped, and it resurfaced again when it got cold this past week. It appears to be the water pump, which I've replaced once already. It did probably just about 80,000 miles ago. The truck has 182,000 miles on it. So I'm going to put another one in. I don't know. Can't see anything down there, but I'll get some of this stuff out of the way and we'll take a better look. As you can see, the water pump's only held in by 2 bolts, 10mm pad on them, and just a square O-ring slips into the groove on the back here. So, pretty simple. I'm due to change the coolant anyway in this. Getting pretty close. And I'm not going to do the belt. I normally do the belt at the same time, but I couldn't get a tensioner, so I'm just going to wait. I'm going to do them both at the same time also. So we're going to start by draining the radiator. There's a petcock right there. So I need to change the O-ring on that anyway. That's been dripping a little bit. So we'll start by draining that. Alright, so here I got a 6-gallon bucket. Loosen this petcock up. So as these loosen, they slide rearward. Now while that's draining, I'll go up and I'll remove the belt. There's a 1/2-inch drive, square hole in the tensioner. I don't have a serpentine belt tool, so I'm just going to use a 1/2-inch ratchet. And I believe there was a tab that you push in on, and that will lock the tensioner in the slack position. There's our water pump, and then if you look right down there, that horizontal piece of aluminum, that's our tensioner. So we're going to stick a 1/2-inch ratchet down in there and loosen that. So I removed the airbox. I have an SMB intake on this, so all I have to do is remove this 10mm and loosen this hose clamp. And there's this plastic cover over the filter that I'd have to take out. I pull that box out, took the belt off. I thought that there was a lock on this tensioner. I must have been confusing it with one of my other vehicles I used to own. So I took this off just to get the belt off easier and slide the water pump out from the side here. See if I can get you guys a better shot. Yeah. It's definitely got a growl to it, and you can see the play. Maybe. definitely shot. So I just got to remove two 10mm bolts and that'll fall right out. So here's the water pump out of the truck. This is your weep hole right here. You want this facing down. Set this up and see if I can show you guys the play again. Yeah, quite a bit of play in that. Alright, we're all cleaned up down there. Got the O-ring on the water pump. I'm going to fish it back in there and throw these two bolts in there. Alright, she's back in there. Torqued to 18 foot-pounds. While you got the belt off, good idea to spin your idler pulley, check that, spin everything. Make sure there's no play in this pulley here that's mounted to the fan. Give everything a spin. The coolant for this, yeah, either use Mopar stuff or there's this Xerox Go5 formula. I buy the concentrate. I'm not paying for somebody to put water in it for me. I bought a few gallons of distilled water. Just mix it 50-50. Put the tensioner back on, the belt, airbox. Just start buttoning everything up. I'm going to change out the O-ring on that petcock because that was weeping a little bit. And that should be it. So the belt's on. I always have a pain in the ass putting that thing back on there. But that's on. Airbox is back in right now. I pulled the petcock out of the radiator. So I only get a little weeping when it's cold out during the winter. So I'm going to replace this O-ring. I got a couple O-ring assortments here. So I've got a pick. There's that. Yeah, I've got a metric and a standard size. I'll see which one fits better. Don't seem bad. Try this other one just to see. This one looks like it might be a little bit smaller. I think I like the way that one fits a little better. I'm just going to go around it a few times, make sure there's no twists in it. Now I got a little silicone. Move it up a little bit, and now stick it back in. And hopefully this don't leak. I don't think I cut it putting it in there. You never really know, I guess, until you try it out. So I filled the overflow in the radiator, and I got out as much air as I could. What I used to do is you could remove the radiator cap, and you could use an air compressor, and you can vacuum down the whole cooling system, so you have all the air out of it, and then fill it with antifreeze. But I don't have that tool anymore. So I just fill it up as much as I can get in it, run it, and get it up to operating temperature, shut it off, and whatever antifreeze that's not in there, usually it'll work its way out through the overflow and then suck back through as it cools off. So I'll probably do that 2 times and should be good to go from there.